I'm kind of trying to strip everything back and be able to kind of hold water with just the instrument, and it's like just trying to get to the purest sort of side of it. And I found that to be really inspiring, actually, to kind of basically just come back to the instrument and try and let the instrument do what it's designed to do, and allow that to be enough.
It is time.
Okay, so this is a track that has been inspiring me for as long as I can remember, by the late great Chick Corea. This is a track from his trio record, Now He Sings, Now He Sobs, and it's called Matrix. And we were lucky enough to meet him a couple of years ago. Well, maybe it's 3 years ago now. Snarky Puppy was supporting him at the Tokyo Blue Note Jazz Festival, and we got a chance to say hello after this show that he performed, where he just kind of obviously brought the house down. And I managed to have a little chat with him, and I was saying, how do you do that? And he said, man, I've been practicing like the last 3.5, 4 weeks just for this show. And he was obviously in his kind of mid to late 70s. And still, shedding, just as hard as ever. And it's like, it kind of reminded me, it doesn't really matter wherever you kind of get to. There's always more you can do. And it was just super inspiring to see somebody like that still kind of grafting in the way that he was, And this track is a brilliant example of his technical facility, back way back. I mean, this kind of record sort of was in debatably one of the album that kind of put a big spotlight on him. And I've every time I hear it, I'm inspired to want to play like this.
All right, well, let's get into it. This is Chick Corea Trio with Matrix here in Galaxy Jams Reacts.
It's got those like old jazz sounding drums where everything's like really open.
Oh man, that piano part's crazy too.
It's all about the piano solo, man.
Yeah.
When he lets go, just feel like he could play anything he puts his mind to.
And I like how the ride lasts forever.
That upright bass part's pretty cool. That's like just as crazy as the piano part.
Oh my god, he's quick. I got my jazz face on. Oh my god. They're getting deep as hell.
Goodness gracious.
I love how Chick is playing all over the keyboard and not just sticking to like, one part.
Oh, that's nice.
Just when you think he's about to part, he takes off again.
Yeah.
I've had various chats with guys in the band about like this aspiration to kind of be completely free in the moment, and like I talked to Corey Henry about it as well. He, one of the keys players in Snarky, and I asked him like, do you feel like you can play anything in your head? Like, is there like there's kind of a perfect through line of the idea to your fingers? And he was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing, man. That's kind of what I can do that, and that's what I'm always aiming for, is to any single idea that I can think of is viable, and I should be able to access it immediately.
Yeah, and one thing I was thinking about also is like how they come out the gate swinging, because I feel like a technique that a lot of bands do is they kind of like spoon feed you like the tools in the toolbox, like for example, they'll start off with this and then they'll add something. But I feel like with Chick Corea in this song, like right out the gate, like they show like all of their bag of tricks, and so it's kind of just an exercise in just enjoying instead of just like wondering like what's really the next thing that's going to come next. And another thing that I really like is there doesn't seem to be like a lull in the music. It's like normal music has like ebbs and flows, ups and downs and teases and things like that, but they just kind of feels like instead of like waves, it's like this whole rushing river that just doesn't stop. It's like right when it starts, it's this whole entire thing that just keeps going and going and going, and it really gives you like almost a chance to relax and then just really absorb the music, as opposed to using parts of your brain to like wonder like what's like the next big movement.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that he fills up space, like just like you said, Mike. He fills up space like the entire time. But I think you had said it, Bill, that he like takes off again. So in my mind, that was where the ebb and flow happened. Was he was always doing something and filling space with just like you say, Mike, how people bend the rules. He's just bending the rules of like what works in a song. But he never stopped. And me as a piano player, of course, I could never match that kind of skill, but I just can't imagine filling that much space with that many notes for that long a period of time. It's pretty crazy.
Right, especially to have a trio, that doesn't have vocals in it. It's really, really hard to fill out that sound, and a lot of trios, especially nowadays, rely on a lot of modern techniques and backing tracks and things like that to keep things going, and it's really amazing how, especially with things like they don't have like delay or they don't have like looping, like it's literally just three people, absolutely going for it. What did you think, EJ?
Oh, I mean, there's a reason why this guy is, 25-time Grammy winner, right? And this is in the beginning of his career. Well, not very beginning of his career, but definitely in the beginning. And he's played with so many people. Like, I've watched his career throughout the years, and he's always amazed me with his technique, how he builds upon his where he's going, just keeps building and building, and it takes you in a different direction. And his pure energy that he's producing in this track with his keys, with his piano playing is truly amazing to me. I'm really enjoying it.
Hey, Bill, how did you first start listening to Chick Corea Trio? When did Chick Corea come on your radar as someone that you're watching in terms of like augmenting your own playing?
So I've been a fan of Chick for years. Return to Forever was like a big record, both for me and for the band. Like when early on with Snarky Puppy, that record would be doing a lot of the rounds on the tour bus. And then I guess it was kind of, if it's Chick or Herbie, I'm probably a Herbie guy. Herbie's like my go-to and has kind of always been. It's like, I think the thing about those guys is the thing that interests me is how wide a spectrum of genre they cover. And,
right.
You know, I mean, Keith Jarrett's another one. Brad Meldau is another. Where you know they're I mean they can play and they have released classical recordings extensively, but then obviously they're incredible jazz musicians, and then have also dived deep into the kind of realms of synthesizers and electronics and stuff. So and I've always kind of been interested in that that element of just the variety, of just kind of being able to cover just lots of different kinds of sounds. And interestingly, now I've been listening to a lot of Keith Jarrett actually, and because I'm doing a piano solo show tomorrow in Stockholm, and I'm going out there for the Stockholm Jazz Festival, and I've been touring solo piano with a bunch of gear where I kind of put a bunch of effects pedals and loop stuff and a drum machine on top of the piano.
Cool.
Which has been cool, but I'm now I've sort of jumped into that world for a while, and I loved kind of creating these big epic soundscapes. But now I'm also kind of now coming back to the piano, like we were talking about before, about just kind of trying to get back to the purity of it. And now I'm just playing solo piano. I mean, there's a few extra little toys involved, but I'm kind of trying to strip everything back and be able to kind of hold water with just the instrument, and it's like just trying to get to the purest sort of side of it. And I found that to be really inspiring, actually, to kind of basically just come back to the instrument and try and let the instrument do what it's designed to do, and allow that to be enough, And I feel like, having spent the small amount of time I have with both Chick and Herbie, that's something I kind of took away from hanging out with them, is just that how much integrity they have really as artists, and like everything they do carries so much weight to it, and so much artistic sort of sense and purpose, which I'd love to hang around.
Well, I know you got the chance to talk to Chick Corea. Have you had a chance to talk with Herbie Hancock one-on-one?
Yeah, I did actually. We were supporting Herbie and Wayne Shorter at the Walt Disney Hall in LA. And
dang,
bizarrely
that's cool.
enough, I couldn't. Yeah, it was great, man. Yeah. I mean, bizarrely enough, I couldn't believe it. We ended up sharing the same catering, and I was like,
oh wow.
So then all of a sudden, there's this chance to just kind of have a meal with Herbie, and so I just sat up next to him, and without even really trying, within about 5 minutes, we were talking about Buddhism.
Oh wow.
He's like a very active on. And he said before the show, he said, like, he asked if I'd be up for doing some chanting after the show, and I was like, oh my god, man, chanting with Herbie, are you kidding me? But then obviously inevitably it never happened, because he was going off signing merch, and as were we, and it was just all we didn't catch him afterwards. But by all accounts, everybody always said that he was such a personable, easy to talk to person, and no doubt, man, he's just that was almost the most inspiring thing, was that somebody he genuinely my number one kind of, like, if there's an idol up there, like he's the guy, and then to meet him and realize that he's just a kind of a human being, and that's how he kind of sees himself, as a human first, then a musician, and he talks a lot about that, and it was just so humbling to kind of meet your idol and discover that they were just trying to make it work, just like we all are, and like that was powerful.
Very nice. That's a great story.
Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
Let's get back into more of this Chick Corea. I want to hear some more.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Nothing like a good old bass solo. And it sounds so stringy too, the way that he's plucking it.
Yeah.
a great line he's starting to play.
I feel like I'm getting a massage right now.
A musical massage.
I like how they just all jump back into it.
Drum solo time.
That's Miroslav Vituous on upright bass, and that's Roy Haynes on drums. And they're both. I mean, I just feel like they're all just going for broke. You know?
Yeah.
They're just absolutely like there's no holds barred, just like all in.
His snare work is so precise. You can tell he's hitting different parts of the snare, even when he's doing multiple hits at once, to get kind of like a varied sound. That's a nice resolution right there.
Wow.
That was a nice ending too.
So much jazzy
beautiful.
dissonance. I love it.
Yeah, and I liked how they went from sounding so like detached from each other to like slamming together and doing these really, really tight changes, and then just kind of breaking off and doing their own thing. And I felt like they did it so naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think the thing for me about it is it's just it represents. It feels like what I feel like I'm shooting for all the time is just like freedom, like how to be as free as like in the moment, in the idea. And these three guys, they're just so free, man. They play with such inhibition, you know.
Yeah, it did sound
It's,
limitless
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
Yeah.
Very, very strong pick. Thank you so much for bringing that and sharing that with us on the show, Bill. We're very, very excited that we were able to listen to Chick Corea Trio together with you. Hi, this is Mike with Galaxy Jams Reacts. We hope that you enjoyed that React video. Be sure to check out the links below of when we're going to be live streaming our next show and also how to watch full episodes. Please hit that subscribe button. Every single one helps.